welcome back to our next edition of Rapid Fire Insights. I'm your host, Dave McCall, here with my co-host, Chris Hanna.
I am so excited, Dave, for today. This is going to be awesome.
It is. Today's guest is Ritchie Keirouz. Richie is a Canadian amateur bodybuilding champion. He's a mentor. He has his own brand. He's a representative for several different companies and gyms. He's just a fantastic guy with a great story of how he got to where he is. And being a heavy guy, his story really hits home with me.
I can't wait to hear his story because I think, like, as you know, as we've done these episodes, Dave, like, there's so many people who've got an amazing origin story, and I guarantee you, Richie's got a great story that is going to be able to help inspire other people. Like, I also struggle with from the weight side too, so I think to be able to hear from Richie, like, what he's been able to do and how he's been able to transform himself, and just like the level of intentionality probably behind it is going to be amazing. So let's bring him on.
Sounds good.
All
Hey,
right,
guys.
Richie,
Richie.
welcome.
Thank you very much. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's a beautiful day outside today. It's 70 degrees, so I can't complain about anything.
There you go.
What we're going to talk about today, Rich, is your story. And I know that you weren't, always the bodybuilding guy. You had a point in your life when things were a little rough and when the weight got out of control. I struggle with my weight. I struggle with it every day. I was 298 pounds. I'm down to 268, but I'm still way overweight for my size. If you could tell us how you got past that, and I want to know the magic secret here.
Yeah. So, I mean, fitness has been such an important part of my life since I was 14. I started training when I was 14 years old. So I've had so many ups and downs in my life where fitness has been the pinnacle of what I do. And I've had points in my life where life has just taken over and fitness kind of took a back seat. And what I found over the last 30 years or so is that fitness is the one thing that I keep coming back to that keeps taking me from whatever low point I'm at to an extremely high point. And I think the first time that happened was back in 2007. I went through some crisis with a business that I had, a failed business that I had, and really took that hard. Started drinking, started smoking, eating takeout. I mean, I put on quite a bit of weight, and I didn't look like anything that I had looked like previously. And one night I was just, sitting with my wife, and I had her take a picture of me for some reason. I can't even remember what that reason was. She took that picture of me, and I remember taking a look at it and just thinking to myself, like, what am I doing to myself? And I was going down this hole of, negativity and, hating what I do and hating life in general. And I realized that the one thing that was missing in my life at that point that I had gone away from was fitness. So I started going back to the gym. I gave up smoking. I gave up drinking. I gave up eating the fast food. It wasn't easy at first. It wasn't like a snap of the finger. It took a lot of work, but I did that. And as soon as I started to feel better and look better and have a more positive mental attitude, I noticed that everything around me started changing. Like, it's almost like the universe started changing. Like, people started treating me differently. I was bringing a different energy when I walked into the room, and that positivity started to just spin off on its own, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I noticed that the healthier I ate, the more I went to the gym, the better I felt about myself. Everything around me just started getting better because I think I was just putting out that positive attitude.
So then it sounds like then so much of it is just really tied to that mindset and what you're putting out into the kind of the universe, I guess, in terms of then bringing in a lot more of that positivity to make the positive changes in all aspects of your life. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely it is. And I'm a firm believer that you truly can't experience that level of happiness and positivity and that energy flow unless you feel your absolute best. I know a lot of positive people that don't work out. I know a lot of positive people that don't eat healthy and might be on the unhealthier side, and they're still positive people, but I don't think they ever reach that pinnacle of happiness and positivity until you've gotten to the point where, you're in peak physical condition, you feel amazing, your sleep is good, your training, it's all encompassing, all in one.
Richie, when you started, I know myself, when you start losing the weight and when you start changing your eating habits, it's a struggle. You know,
Yes.
you're the back, that little part of the back of the brain is just telling you grab that cookie. You
Yeah.
know, just that one. It's going to be okay. How do you push past that? What is it that really that you use to focus and get through that?
Yeah, that's where discipline is absolutely key, and you have to put that into your mindset before you even start something like this. Like, people talk about motivation, and they'll watch a YouTube video, or a coach will motivate you, or a friend will just kind of give you a little pump up talk, or you'll read a book or something, and that's great. But that's only going to last for a certain period of time. So you have to put it in your mind that you have to have the discipline to do everything you have to do to get to that next stage. So when you're looking at that cookie, what I like to do is I call it delayed gratification. I'll look at something and I'll want it, or I'll crave it, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to delay it. I don't want it right now. I want it right now, but I'm going to wait. Give me half an hour and I'll put it off. Give me an hour and I'll put it off. And I noticed that when I started to use that delayed gratification mechanism, after a while, that craving just kind of goes away and you forget about it. And then the more you go to the gym, and the more you diet, and the more you actually, I shouldn't use the word diet. I don't like the word diet. The more you eat healthy and you're more conscious about what you're eating, the better you start to feel about yourself, and the better you feel when you get up in the morning. You don't have that brain fog throughout the day. You're not hitting those brick walls where you're just tired. Then you start to say to yourself, I don't want that cookie. I don't want dessert after. I'm going to have fruit or vegetables after, because you don't want to ruin that feeling that you have, because it's such a euphoric feeling. That's really the only way I can describe it, is when you feel like that. So discipline is key at first. You got to be able to say to yourself, I really, really want it, but I know what my goals are, and I'm not going to have it. And that delayed gratification, for me, what I used to do was we would have what we call cheat nights. So every Saturday night was whatever we wanted. So if I'm craving Doritos on a Tuesday night, put it on the list. Delayed gratification. I'm not having it Tuesday night, but I know on Saturday I can do whatever I want. So put it on the list and have it on Saturday. And it's funny because come Saturday, you look at the list and you're like, I'm not really craving those Doritos anymore, but I still want the Oreos tonight. And when you do that and you continuously push it off, it becomes so much easier, and your body just stops craving it after.
Well, no, and I think that's a great piece of advice, and I'm actually going to try that because I've plateaued. I've lost 30 pounds, but I'm stuck right now. So I need to try and do something to kind of move me, to the next point. Somebody suggested, when you want something, tell yourself, I don't want the donut, or I don't eat donuts. Do you think that actually works?
I do believe that, because subconsciously we can train our brains to, we control all of our thoughts. So if that thought pops into your brain and all you say is, oh, I wish I could have that donut. I want that donut, but I know I can't have it. You're really telling yourself, I want it, I want it, I want it. But if you just train your subconscious mind to know, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm craving it, but I don't want it. It's good. That's what really starts to stick into your brain, is that it's there. It's probably calling my name, but I don't want it. That, coupled with the fact that, that delayed gratification, you're pushing it off at the same time, you're still working out, you're still eating healthy and it's a short period of time. I mean, it could take anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks to really get those sugar cravings to be gone. Once you've totally said, I don't want it anymore, and you don't have it, you delay that gratification. After a certain period of time, your body just stops craving it. And then those cravings don't pop up. Then you see the donut and you're like, doesn't even bother me. I don't even want it.
Now, you work with other people. You do coaching and everything else.
Yes.
Is there anybody that you're working with now who's running into those struggles? Do you have a process or a system that you use, or is it individual for each person?
My programs are very customizable to people's lifestyle, because that's what we aim to do. We aim to make it a part of your lifestyle. So I don't like you have like your 6-week plans or your 12-week plans, which is great if you have a short-term goal to attain. I do programs like that as well. But what I aim to do is make this a lifestyle change for you. So in order to do that, I have to customize your plan to your lifestyle, your work schedule, your family schedule, your training. It's all focused around your current lifestyle, because what we're trying to do is incorporate this new healthy lifestyle into your current lifestyle, because the hardest thing to do is completely turn around and change the way you're living now to live the way that, in this new healthy lifestyle, because you're trying to change way too many things in your life.
I would imagine that's probably so much of it has to also do with like the support that you have in your world too on some of this, right? Like you mentioned about your wife taking a picture of you. I know for myself, when like I'm, not feeling like I want to get out there, my wife kicks me in the ass a little bit and says, "Hey, you got to go for a walk," right?
Yeah.
I think there's so much of that too. Can you speak about the importance of that support circle around somebody that like they maybe sometimes need when they're going through this?
Absolutely. I've been so blessed with my support system. My wife actually competed as well for about 5 years. She hasn't done it in a few years, but she also competed. So she knows the state of mind you have to be in to do one of these. Both my daughters are very athletic. So our household is a very healthy, fit household. They support me in everything I do, in my ups and in my downs. And when I'm down and I have those periods, way more than people think, Jen's there for me, the girls are there for me, and they pick me up and they support me. And that's huge. Even if you have your surroundings aren't ideal in the sense that, and I have clients like this who want to make a lifestyle change, but nobody else in their family does. And, it's hard, a husband or a wife, a son or a daughter might want to say, "Hey, I want to lose some weight. I want to make a change," but my parents aren't willing to change their lifestyle. But what I try to do is get them to work with them to say, "Listen, I'm not asking you to change your lifestyle for me. All I'm asking you to do is support me in this. The worst thing is when you sit down for dinner and you've got your Tupperware, you've got your chicken and your broccoli, and everyone else is having pizza, and then everybody starts going, 'Hey, what are you doing that for? What, you think that works? You shouldn't be wasting your time. Just have a slice of pizza.'" That's where you really got to have a talk with the people around you. And it's important to say, "I'm not trying to change your lifestyle. I'm trying to change mine. And all I'm asking you to do is support me in my decision to do this." And that support could be in the form of not bringing junk food into the house, trying to cook a little bit healthier, not discouraging me when I'm trying to, when I'm going to the gym again for the second time today, or I'm going for a walk. And, it's little steps, because if you've got family members that just aren't into making that lifestyle change, it can be very difficult if you don't have those conversations with them about them supporting you.
Yeah, that support's critical.
It's extremely true. My wife, who like yours, is extremely supportive of me trying to do what I'm doing. So that makes it so much easier. But the question, when somebody first goes to the gym and they're overweight like I am, you feel self-conscious. You're walking into the gym there and all these people are looking trim and fit, and you're jiggling and, bouncing up and down, just walking to the machines. How do you deal with that? And is there a mental trick you can use, or is it just brave it, get through? And
here's what I tell all my clients: regardless of what anybody looks like in the gym, they're all thinking the same thing that you're thinking. Even the fittest guy, even me, when I'm in the gym and I'm training and I've got a muscle shirt on, or I've got a tank top on or something, believe it or not, I'm self-conscious, because I'm looking at myself going, "Am I lean enough? Should I just put a sweater on? Why did I take my shirt off? Are people looking at me?" And that's something that I've battled my whole entire life, and I try to get over that. But what I try to just focus on, and this is what I tell my clients, is focus on your goal. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking about you're in the gym. Guess what? You're in the gym and they're not. And that's a huge step for you to just get there and get to the gym. And, put some headphones on. And that's key for me. You throw the headphones on, you got the music on, you get into your own little space, and just focus on your goal. Don't worry about who's around. Don't have your phone in your hand going on social media. You're only in there for 45 minutes to an hour. Focus on that goal. My goal is to drop 60 pounds. And this is 45 minutes out of the next 6 months that I'm on this plan. And I'm going to focus all my attention and energy on this 45 minutes in the gym. I'm not going to bother with anybody around me. I don't care what they're thinking. I'm here changing my life. And that's what I'm doing for me. So you really just got to put those blinders on and get that out of your head.
Well, we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna make you focus and put your blinders on here now. Nice little segue. We're gonna do our rapid fire segment here. I'm gonna throw as many questions at you as I possibly can in the next couple of minutes. Looking for the first thing that pops into your head. Are you ready?
This should be fun. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna start with one that's really relevant for you, but I'm gonna go really quick here. Okay. What's more important, food or exercise?
Food.
Morning or night person?
Morning.
One word that describes your coaching style.
Fun.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I could be the extreme of both.
What's your favorite song to listen to when you're working out?
Anything from the Rocky IV soundtrack.
What was your first job ever?
Packing tomatoes. I live in Leamington.
What's your favorite food to eat?
Junk food or
any food. What's your favorite
any
food?
food? French fries.
What's one habit that you swear by?
Getting up early in the morning, 4 a.m.
What's the best fitness advice you could give someone?
Get started. Just get started. Success builds upon success.
There you go. What's your favorite dream destination for going on vacation?
The Maldives.
If you could wake up tomorrow and you have a superpower, what superpower do you want?
To answer people's prayers.
What's one word that describes your mindset?
Focused.
And then last thing here, if you could give yourself, your younger self, some advice, what would you say to yourself?
Don't take life so seriously. Just chill. Everything's going to work out.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. You just like flew through these so
blew
quickly.
right through 'em, yeah.
Like, no problem. First
Yeah,
thing
sweating too.
With your medals and
Yes.
your big trophy back there. You competed quite a bit.
Yes.
Is there anything else coming up for you?
So I had recently, I won the Legends Cup overall championship, which is that big
Congratulations
trophy
on that one.
you see there. I won the Canadian National Championship in the Masters Men's Physique, which qualified me for the North American Championships, which are held in Pittsburgh in September of 2024. So initially, when I started this prep here, I didn't know what direction it was going to go in. Again, this prep came out of a really low point in my life. I had gone through a really, really rough period where I lost a lot of my confidence. It shook me. This one was a rough one. It was about a year and a half stretch. So when I started this prep, I was in no position to even start the prep. I mean, if you see my before and afters on my Instagram page, when I started in May, I was 210 pounds. Ended up getting on stage at 163. So when I started this prep, I really started it with the mindset of, okay, I just need to get out of this negative spiral that I'm in right now. And if I focus on a competition and I get my life back in order the way it only is when I'm focused on training, this will help me get out of this funk that I'm in. And it did, just as it always does. My faith came into a play a lot during this prep, because prep is a very spiritual thing for me as well. It's always been. So I had no real expectations until about 6 weeks out from this competition, because I didn't know if my body was going to respond. I hadn't competed in almost 5 years. I'm 46. And all I kept thinking was, my body isn't going to respond the way it used to. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to pull out, because I don't want to embarrass myself. I'll pull out of the competition. So we started at 21 weeks out from the show. And it wasn't until about 6 weeks out where I started looking at myself in the mirror every single morning going, never mind questioning how I'm looking or if I'm going to be ready. I think I can win this thing. And I really, really started to get that mindset of, I think I can actually win this and I can actually earn my pro card.
It's that positive mindset you were talking about.
Yes, it is. And I didn't have it in the beginning. I'll be completely honest. I did not have it in the beginning because, I looked at myself and I thought, this is going to be difficult. I'm going to have to strip off almost 50 pounds just to get to where I want to get to. And I might not look the same way. I haven't been on stage in 5 years, and it's a 46-year-old body now. And we, as we age, things start to change a little bit. So that positivity started to come right into play. About the same time, my faith started to get really, really strong. And I thought, I can win this thing. And I came close.
Meditation at all?
Yes, actually, if you notice to my left, I have my Buddha incense holder there. I've got a Buddha behind me here. I meditate a lot. I love the Zen meditations, but I also use meditation for my prayers as well. So when I pray, I meditate as well. So it's a big, I do a lot of breath work, a lot of meditation, a lot of alone time focusing.
Yeah, I've done Tai Chi in the past, and I've definitely found that doing the Tai Chi and the breathing and the focus really kind of brings you to that point where you feel very, and it's very esoteric, but very one.
Yes.
It's really a good feeling, and it energizes you.
Yeah,
it really does. You'd think that you wouldn't think it would, but it does. So I completely see how you could be using that for training, as a tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to, because when you get really close to a competition like that 6-week out mark, you're tired, you're hungry, you're in the gym 2, sometimes 3 times a day, and it becomes all mindset from that point. I mean, you could make your body do whatever you push it to do, but it's all mindset at that point. So really getting deep into that meditation, the prayer, your faith, it really, really helps. And again, like you said, unless you've actually experienced that, doing that, it's hard to make someone understand what that feeling is like. But it is like a oneness. It's like a strange euphoric calm that comes over. And what I've noticed lately, right? So what I've noticed lately too is if I do my breath work before I meditate, it makes it even a deeper state of calm. Have you tried that? Have you tried doing the breath work?
No. Well, not lately. No.
Yeah, you should give it a try. Wim Hof, I follow him a lot. He's the Iceman, they call him. The Dutch guy. He's got the beard. He's always in the snow and the ice. He's got these YouTube videos, and he does a lot of breath work on there. And I've noticed that if I do that breath work for about, I think the whole thing is 11 minutes long, and then immediately go into a meditation, I get deeper into that meditation and I focus a lot more. I get more of that euphoric, calm feeling.
I'll have to give that a try.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
One thing I think a lot of people struggle with is that they'll start something, whether it is fitness, whether it's even something in their business, and then they start doing it for a while and then they stop. Maybe something goes wrong. Maybe they don't like some results and they lack that consistency. Any advice to overcome that lack of consistency after like the stutter start kind of thing that happens for a lot of people?
Yeah, coaches are a big tool for that. And, you had noticed, Dave, you had mentioned earlier that you have plateaued, right? So, a lot of people will start a fitness program or a new nutrition plan or something. And if you're starting something that you've never done, your body's going to react to it immediately. The key is, what do you do? Because you're going to plateau. That's inevitable. It's what to do after that, right? And typically, people jump into a diet that they got online or a friend gave them, or, hey, I lost 10 pounds doing this. Okay, go and do it. And they get all excited about it. But the key is they don't have a plan. They have a goal, but they don't have a plan on how to fully get to the end stage of that goal. So setting that up, and the coach is where that comes into play, who helps you get that set up. But if you can't afford a coach, there's so many tools online to be able to do that. But sit down and make a plan. Say, okay, here's my goal. I want to lose 50 pounds. And here's my short-term goals for the next 6 weeks. Here's my long-term goals for the next 12 weeks, 15 weeks. What am I going to do when I plateau? How am I going to change my training every 4 or 5 weeks so that you don't plateau? And expect those things to happen, and do some research and from people who have gone through it and done it, and lay that plan out so you don't get to that 6-week mark and plateau, but you don't have a plan for what happens after that. And then that's when people just fall off and they just give up. Or something will derail them, a work project or a family situation will derail them. But they haven't set their plan on how to achieve that goal. So they don't have nothing to go back to and refer to. When they get derailed, they're completely off the rails.
Yeah, and I think that happens a lot in whether it is fitness, whether it's business, whatever,
Yes.
right? It's hard for people once something doesn't go the way that they want, or they don't like it, or an interruption happens, right? It's hard to get back on track.
It's a negative feeling, and you don't like negative feelings, so you just stop doing it. And that's where, as Richie said, that positive mindset, you have to fight through that and bring that positive mindset back into it. And that's how, why talking to people like Richie is so important, because this way, when you're having those low periods and you're struggling and you're not sure what to do next and you're ready to give up, reaching out to somebody who's, gone through it and understands what you're going through. You can talk to them and say, hey, I'm feeling this. And they go, I know, I've been there,
Yes, exactly.
and this is what we're going to do to get you through that.
Yeah.
Richie, if anybody wanted to, work with you, follow you, connect with you, where should they best do that? Like what's some of the contact information that you can share with the audience of where they can connect?
Yeah, so my brand is my name. It's Ritchie Keirouz. My website is richiekerouz.com. My Instagram is richie.keirouz. My Facebook is Ritchie Keirouz. So is my YouTube channel. So, I've recently started working with a new marketing company. So in the next few weeks, you guys will see a lot of new material coming out, making some additions to the website. So, I welcome anybody, even if you don't want to necessarily work with me, but you just want to pick my brain, you want some advice. I love doing that. I'm not in it here just to sell my plans or sell my programs. If anybody's having a concern or you're having some issues or you're struggling a little bit with your weight or you're struggling a little bit with, a career decision or anything, just shoot me a DM on any of my Instagram or Facebook channels. I would be happy to have a conversation with anybody.
Well, I think it's clear from the conversation that we've had today that like you've got a wealth of knowledge and insights to share, and so we appreciate you taking the time to share again with our audience today. So thank you, Richie, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on. When you guys reached out to me, I was really, really excited, and I thought this is awesome. I love doing community-based things, right? I do a lot of stuff. My main sponsor is based out of Vancouver. It's BioX Nutrition, and they put a lot of material out, but it's meant for the masses, right? So I don't do a lot of things locally community-based. So, when you guys called, I thought, this is awesome. I love to do this kind of stuff.
Well,
I want to get more involved in the community. So
really appreciate you coming out and talking to us and sharing all these insights, because I know I'm going to be trying some of this stuff today. So thank you very much, just from a personal note.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, Richie, for being on the show. And everyone, stay tuned for more episodes of Rapid Fire Insights. We look forward to bringing more folks like Richie. And we'd love to have you back as well sometime, Richie, too. So thank you.
I would absolutely love to, guys. Thanks very much.